we come to solve a problem, which is just that my office has become an absolute mess with books that I know I need to unhaul everywhere. And this video is really just like the deadline I gave myself to say, like, you need to figure out what all needs to get out of here, because this is honestly just getting ridiculous. I keep like not putting books back after I've unhauled them, or say I'm gonna unhaul them, whatever. Okay, so we have a lot to cover and I have not yet organized these, so maybe let me do that and then we can talk. See you in a minute. Okay, I think I found all of them. So really my two main categories, and actually this is pretty good, are books I read and thought were fine but don't need to keep, or books I DNF'd. And I think you've seen a lot of the DNF ones in various projects. If you've been watching this channel this year at all, I think you've picked up on the concept that I've been going with of trying to read what I own, really focusing on getting my TBR down this year. I've been really successful in that. I need to do an update with you guys where I show you all of the books I've gotten and what my stats are. But I'll do that. I don't have the brain space for that today. So we're just going to talk about unhaul. Okay, so let's start with books that I have read and thought were fine to even good, but just don't feel the need to hold on to. Maybe I'll do this by project where I can. Recently I did a Reading the Rainbow reading challenge. So trying to read queer books of various kinds in the rainbow colors for June. And I had my two least successful ones in that I actually still liked both of, but don't feel the need to hold on to. So one is Light from Uncommon Stars, which is a very unique book. I don't know that I've read something quite like this tonally. It's a sci-fi with some cozy elements, but it's like Faustian bargain and aliens. It's an interesting book that I liked, but didn't love the writing for the story. So that's why I'm gonna unhaul it. And then Iris Kelly Doesn't Date. Cute, contemporary, but just not memorable, and I don't need to hold on to it. Oh, I should start separating. As I'm going through these, separate these into different size books for my bags. Okay, then a buddy read, I guess, was Big Machine by Victor Laval. I picked this up because I was doing reading sprints with the Locked Booktician, and I think it was Black Horror maybe was the prompt. I can't quite remember. But I really enjoyed Lone Women last year, so I was eager to try something else from him. And this is one where I really like the writing, but you can tell it's an early book for him. I just am not sure it's as interesting or mature of a piece of work, but I will definitely keep reading for him. This is one I just didn't like, you know, love enough to hold on to. Okay, and then I had a couple of Nora Roberts ones, and and some of these I can't even remember what challenge I did these with. But anyway, two Reading Roberts books. One has Loving Jack and Best Laid Plans. The other has Once More with Feeling and Opposites Attract. Literally don't remember hardly anything about these. Oh. I clearly, past Mara said that I did not need to hold on to them, and she was clearly right, because they are not ringing any bells. But those are two bind-ups that are going. I think, man, I can't even remember what all these are from, guys. This is kind of wild how many challenges I've done since I last unhauled. Maybe I'm gonna have to give up on that thought. I remember Raven Black was for my Critters vlog, and this is a solid murder mystery, but not one that I felt the need to hold on to. And then We Others by Stephen Millhauser. This was a good collection, but not a great one. And again, just don't feel like it's the best one that I need to hold on to. If the boot fits, I want to say I may have read for Black History Month vlog challenge. This is another contemporary romance that is cute, but I don't know, not that memorable. I can pass it along. And then three from my recent trying to read, like I said, a TBR for myself of 8 series that I wanted to start in 2024. And I read all of these, and I'm not going to continue and don't feel the need to hold on to the book. We've got the first in the McGray series. I've got a couple more I'm going to read from this, but I'm not going to read all of them necessarily. Then Prince of Fools by Mark Lawrence. Perfectly solid, grimdark, just not connecting with me enough to commit to the full trilogy, which actually, technically it's a 6-book series because there's a spin-off trilogy, but. And then The Grace of Kings, this was good, but I just didn't connect enough with the characters to want to commit to the full series. Okay, and then a couple in here because of other booktubers or YouTubers. The Helm of Midnight, this is one that Bethany recommended to me in our book swap. Fantasy, again, good, but just not like memorable or strong enough for me to continue in the series, so I don't need to hold on to this. Mary Shelley Club by Goldie Moldavsky. This was me and Leanna did a book swap, and she picked this one because she knows how much I like Scream, and I definitely think this has very 90s horror, like teen horror vibes to it. It evokes that very powerfully, but just not enough for me to hold on to. And then Sign Here by Claudia Lux. This is a very promising debut, but I think that the tone and the kind of promise of the premise wasn't fully realized here. And I enjoyed it, but I'm not going to reread it. Cackle, I remember reading, I was supposed to read this for work book club, but then I think I had to miss that. But I still had it, so I decided to read it. And I think this would have been better as a novella, but it was cute. It was entertaining. I like that Rachel Harrison does sort of lighter horror. I think that's a good niche that someone should be writing in, and I think that's what she's doing. And then The Jasad Heir was just way too YA for me. It's a romantasy, and it just wasn't for me. We can leave that there. Then Jade War, I liked but didn't love. Like, I was interested in where the end of the story was going. And then I guess actually I should probably, I've got it in here somewhere. I've got Jade Legacy. I'm DNFing the series at Jade Legacy, even though I got through the first 2 and like a third books. I just didn't care to finish. It's a very long book. And I just wasn't loving how the story was progressing. In terms of like how time is handled and the progression of time, it really bothered me the more I read it. I noticed it in this one and then I couldn't unsee it in the next one. But I am going to hold on to the first book because I really like the first book. I'm not sure if the problem I had wasn't there or if I just hadn't noticed it yet. I'm not sure. You're Invited by Amanda J. Atisa. This was an entertaining, sort of an isolation thriller. Everybody's there for a wedding, someone dies, which of the wedding guests did it. And it's good, but I had just read a different book that had some really similar themes. And so I think this suffered a little bit for me just accidentally reading them close to each other. But it was entertaining. I like her writing and I liked her horror that came out better than I liked this. So I'll definitely keep looking for books from her. Okay, and I think the last one in the liked but didn't love pile is Chain Gang All-Stars. It is good. I just think that it doesn't hold a full novel. I think this would have been better either as a novella or as a bunch of interconnected short stories. I just think that it's more idea heavy than actual like character focused. And for me, that's not necessarily something that works the best. So good, but not gonna hold on to it. Okay, and now we're in DNF territory. So maybe for the ones that I did like a try a chapter thing, let me just tell you which ones are included in that. Queen Move by Kennedy Ryan. Death and the Maiden by Ariana Franklin and Samantha Norman. Raybearer by Jordan Ifuego. Friends Like These by Jennifer Lynn Alvarez. The Western Wind by Samantha Harvey. Theme music by T. Marie Vandelli. And Bitter Orange by Claire Fuller. Upon a Burning Throne by Ashok K. Banker. Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel. Here's Jade Legacy, as we were talking about earlier, and then 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. I think those are all ones I did in those try a chapter type videos, but I may be misremembering which ones were in which videos. Also, I just realized I accidentally forgot All Your Twisted Secrets by Diana Urban. I did finish this one, and it was a good, fun book that was kind of dampened by its ending and the fact that it had dual timelines. But that, you guys know, I'm a little prejudiced about dual timelines. I think they're pretty hard to pull off in a way that doesn't make me resent the other timeline that I want to be in, but you're forcing me to stay in this one I'm not as interested in. Okay, so then all of these other ones I don't think were in a different try a chapter video. Okay, so this was one that I was originally going to read for Pride Month because it was one of the only orange spined books that I had found on a list of books with characters who are LGBTQIA+, but I started reading the first chapter and was just not into the writing. And like the writing was okay, but getting into my recent theme of just like, I gotta get out of reading these gigantic books, I'm just not clicking with these days. I just decided for how long it was, I didn't like the writing enough. Oh yeah, then I decided that it had been long enough and I had still not wanted to restart the Scythe trilogy by Neil Shusterman, so it's finally time to say goodbye to the second and third books. So I put these away thinking like, hey, if I really get the urge to try them again, I can, but I think it's been 2 years, so I think it's time to say officially that's not gonna happen. I can't remember. I don't think I finished this one. This has been so long ago. Let's put it this way. If I finish it, it tells you how unmemorable it is, but I'm pretty sure I DNF'd this just because I think some of the things that were happening, I think I would have enjoyed if I had read this when it came out before the third movie in the new trilogy had come out, but I just wasn't really connecting with it. Even though it's Rebecca Roanhorse, I just wasn't into this one. Okay, and then I talked about That Sweet Enemy and why I DNF'd it in my long book video. This just wasn't what I thought it was going to be in terms of the range of dates covered by this particular history book. I don't remember when I was trying to read this. Death of Christian Britain by Callum G. Brown, but I just remember, all I remember is not caring enough about the topic anymore to put up with the writing or like the tone or whatever. Yeah, I don't even remember when this happened, but sometime since the last time I went to McKay's. I talked about Shadow Cabinet by Juno Dawson in my ABC vlog, the first chapter of it. This was just a huge letdown from Her Royal Majesty's Secret Coven and was not giving me what I wanted. So I'm just not going to keep going in the series, and I wish I just stopped at the first one. She started it. I wasn't vibing with the writing, and I'm getting kind of sick of the mean girl trope in these thriller, suspensey kind of books. It's getting a little boring. I wasn't loving how it was executed, so I just kind of gave up on it. Violin Conspiracy, this one, I did not like the writing. It was giving very male gaze, very unexamined misogyny in the first few pages, and yeah, life is too short for that. And then The Girl in the Stars by Mark Lawrence, the writing is good. I just think it wasn't giving me, it's set in the same world as Red Sister, and it wasn't giving me what I liked about Red Sister, and I just realized I'm not, from reading what I read, I just am not interested enough in continuing in that series, in that world. So, the last two are books I already own. These are duplicates. So one is The Iron Duke by Mel Jean Brooke. I forget, this is a really nicely preserved copy. I think I picked this up for someone at some point at McKay's, but I don't remember who. So I'm just gonna take it back there. And then The Paper Menagerie. I think I'd forgotten to put this in my Goodreads, so Leanna sent me an extra copy. So I kept the copy she sent me, and I'm gonna unhaul the one that I already had. And this is such a wonderful book that I'm happy to put it back, a copy into circulation for someone else to hopefully pick up and enjoy. And then the only book in this entire pile that I would say I did not like was The Center by Aisha Manazir Siddiqui. I liked the first part of it, and then it does a pretty big tone change or like focus shift, and I did not like that part of it. So sadly, this one did not work for me, and I wish it had mostly just been the original direction it was going. But, you know, to each their own. Some people really love this. It's definitely it's got a vibe, so if you're interested in a distinctive book, I could recommend it in that sense. Okay, so I think those are all the books I'm taking, and now they're in different little piles, and I can put them in my bags and take them away to the lovely used bookstore. So, whew, do I have the spoons to do that today? I'm not entirely sure. We'll see. But let me know what you thought about any of the books I talked about. Hopefully that was interesting. I always like to see what people are bringing in and taking out, so hopefully you enjoy that too. Yeah, so soon you should be seeing a video where I show you everything that's come in the last 6 months, because I've decided to start doing kind of like biannual hauls. And I'll show you anything that has been added to my TBR. I'm not, for instance, gonna talk about like, just got a new Penguin Clothbound Classic. That would not be in that video because it's not getting added to my TBR. It's getting just added to my overall collection. So I'll show you guys the things that have been added to my TBR and then like where I am for the year. I'm down a good amount from my TBR, which I'm very proud of. Yay. So that's coming. That's kind of a corollary video to this one. That's coming sometime soon whenever I get the spoons to do the math and compile all of the books that are on my TBR that have come in. Anyway, I'll stop talking. Thank you for coming to hang out. Follow me if you want to follow me. Hit the bell if you want to know when I'm posting a video, because I am not following a regular schedule these days. And hope you're having a good one. I'll talk to you soon.